Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We are bellying up to the bar, blah, 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 and I haven't
That's
had...
a great damn start.
Someone's been drinking already.
Somebody's had a few at the bar. But no, let's try that again. We're bellying up to the bar today with, one whole person. I don't know. We'll figure this out. But
all right, let's set the tone for your show. I'm gonna. Okay, why is the dude in your logo like a cool looking guy that I want to hang out with, and then we get you?
Because you know what it is? Because this show is going to be all about false advertising. So we're bellying up to the bar today. Two buddies of mine, folks that I have to say have a semi-okay show that they get a couple of downloads a week. A couple, I don't know. A little bit. They're big in Kenya. They're real big in Kenya. They're killing it in Kenya.
Pakistan last week.
Yeah, that's a new one. We're big in Pakistan now.
Big in Pakistan, and big in Kenya. Mine for a little bit was big in Malaysia. I haven't figured that out yet. Nice. But got some gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Snow, Mr. Donnie Boivin. Donnie was on what was it?
It's Boivin.
Whatever, Boivin.
I'm not a damn cow, dude.
He's got an ass like he's got an ass like a cow. He's got an ass like a cow.
Marine Corps boot camp with his last name. I was a fucking cow the entire time.
And look, we've already got some folks up there. Let's belly up there. Bitch, Tim's already out there. This is actually my son.
Hey, what's up, bud?
Hi, Dad. So we're bellying up to the bar tonight, and we're talking how do you grow your business. They've got a podcast, comes out weekly. In your face, talking about growing your business, getting your business bigger. How do you do that? And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have sensitive ears, it's probably not the show for you. If you're looking for a little bit more, and again, in your face, like frank talk about growing your business, these are the guys. So again, we have Mr. Kevin Snow and Mr. Donnie Boivin. Look, he's a fucking...
Hold on, where the fuck are my settings?
Right. Picture settings.
No, I'm gonna see if I can change how to fucking say my name. I can't figure out I can't do it now.
Well, my son, my 12-year-old son's watching us, which I have no idea why. He should be doing his homework. He's gonna get his ass kicked here in a minute. But he's over here like, Dad, you should change your stuff. So, gentlemen, welcome to the bar. Kevin, your first time. Donnie's welcome back.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
And Kevin, you're what, Oklahoma or something? Where the hell are you at, Kevin?
Who?
I am not Oklahoma.
I knew it was somewhere frozen.
It's frozen. Oklahoma isn't frozen. It just sucks.
Yeah, like my fucking chair. My chair. I've quit on this chair. I've got to get a new chair. Like I go through bar stools like nobody's business. So we're going to be talking about their show. Get into a little bit about improving your business. But as always, folks, before we get into that, we got to get a little bit of house cleaning done here. So first things first, over my right shoulder, for those of you that are watching us live, and for those of you that aren't watching us live, make sure you check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and our Twitter is the only one that's got a goofy name at the Above the Bar 4, but everything else is the Above the Bar podcast. So if you've got something that you're supporting, something you're doing, and it's got a sticker, if you send me that sticker, I will read it live on the air, whether it be a charitable organization, whether you have a podcast, you have a music career you're trying to put together, send it to me. We'll go ahead and read about it. The other side to that is if your media just needs an upgrade, make sure you reach out to Media by Dibs. Media by Dibs will go ahead and hook you up. You mentioned to him the Above the Bar, if you mention him, hashtag belly up to the bar, he's going to give you a 10% discount. He's going to give you a free consultation. He's going to hook you up and show you what it means to actually improve your media and not you sitting there with a scratch pad and trying to take a picture and put it up there. Real media, real videos, real everything. So make sure you check out Media by Dibs. He's on LinkedIn as Andrew Dibble. He's on Facebook as Media by Dibs and on Instagram, Media by Dibs. So now we're going to get into this. House cleaning is done.
That's a cool name, though. Media by Dibs. That's a cool name.
He's got a.
Is his name Dib?
Andrew Dibble.
Oh, that's fucking Dibble. All right.
So when he was in the Marine Corps, it was, we all end up with a nickname.
Little
Dibs.
Dibble.
Look, you got a little Dibble. Look, wonder if his girlfriend. You got a little Dibble on your chin.
Love you, Andrew.
You got a little Dibble on your chin there. But so you gentlemen, how long has growth mode been around?
Oh, we launched that
a year.
Last year? Yeah.
Last year in March.
So so it's only been around for a year.
Yeah.
And how many downloads are you doing an episode?
Well, so we got 2 podcasts. So Success Champions gets 20 to 25,000 downloads.
Okay, so Success Champions is the big one.
Yeah, so that's the really big one. And then Growth Mode, we're doing 200, 500 an episode on that one right now. If you could make Sean Murphy look good, dude, that's debatable whether he actually looks good. So
we'll talk about Nathan's fantasy football picks here in a minute, but keep going.
So we launched Growth Mode 100% out of wanting to teach people all the crap Kevin and I screwed up, in business, and we have fucked up a lot of things. With Dibs, he'll give you a free Zerber.
I don't know if Dibs knows this, but if you spend $500 or more, he's going to give you a free Zerbert on your belly.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So keep going. You ain't got to read it. We'll get to all these guys.
No, that's good, man. Throw that. It's awesome. Kevin and I, we've been hanging out, Kevin, 3 years, 4 years.
Yep.
And we've broken a lot of shit in business and done a lot of stupid things. And we've just found that by sharing all the things we break, people are into it and they like to hear everything that's happening with it. So, the number one thing people tell me about the show, the Growth Mode podcast, they're like, fuck, you make fun of Kevin a lot.
Mm-hmm. he picks on me. He's mean.
Do you need me to come, Kevin?
No.
Remember, if you ever need a rescue, throw that net out there. Trust me. You'll love this. You just reminded me of something, Donnie, when you talk about people picking. So my old career, there was another Marine, and he, typical of most of us, like yourself, did 4 years and left. Which I had
no, 4 years and got the fuck out. There's a big difference.
Look, eat the apple, fuck the core. I know the whole thing.
Right.
I had an old CEO guy, was great, and he used to always say, "All I want you to do is do 4 years, not be NJP'd, and I'll drive you to the gate myself." That's what he used to say.
I wish I had that dude in my life.
So it was funny. The guy goes one day, he's like, "Well, listen here, Boot," and I went. And for those of you who don't know what military terms, boot means you're a junior guy. And I went, been called a fucking boot in a long time. And I looked at him, I said, "When did you go in?" And he was like, I don't know, like sometime in like late 94, early 95. And I looked at him and went, "Well, fucking boot." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "July of 94. Don't start your shit with me." And if those of you that are out there listening, we're going to joke. You're going to hear a lot of military jargon, a lot of things that'll go on during the show. One of the things I do want to know, though, is if you've got questions about, you're trying to grow your business, and this is a conversation, a new term that came to me recently that I want to hear Donnie and Kevin's thoughts on. But if you're looking to grow your business, you're thinking about growing a business, you're looking to grow a business, and you want to know the truth about something, you kind of luck out with 3 guys. One who I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I'm an entrepreneur. I am an intrapreneur. And I know that about myself. And it took me a little while. And that's a term that I've learned recently where I know I can build my business within somebody else's, but I don't want to do the taxes. I don't want to hire the HR.
So intrapreneur just means too scared to do it on your own. I mean,
look, you know what? Hey, look, Donnie. I'm not ashamed. You know what it is? I've thought about it. I've really given it some thought. And I used to get in look into a lot of these franchise organizations that are out there. I like the idea that there's a model already put together. And then I was like, I don't I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I care that much to go that level, but I really love the idea of the entrepreneur and becoming so valuable to a business that you walking away causes fear.
Yeah, I want to talk 2 quick thoughts on that. I will make fun of employees, entrepreneurs, the whole thing all the time, but I want to put this caveat: no company can function without them. Period. It takes a dumb, crazy idiot to believe that they can jump out and start their own business. I mean, you've got to be an absolute moron to go, I'm going to walk away from a steady pay, benefits, and weekends, and I'm going to run my own freaking company. Kevin, you'd agree, right?
Yeah, I was insane before I met Donnie because I had 2 companies I was running, my sales and marketing automation one, and then a cybersecurity company, and then I have 6 more with Donnie. So I have like 8 companies right now that I'm running.
Really?
Yeah.
See that?
It's like,
But
what
see,
the
you know
hell?
what? That now that's that serial entrepreneur, which is another
No,
thing.
that's fucking insane.
But it's serial entrepreneur. Now, I love to get into this, and yes, Nathan, I use other people's terms all the time, and it is, I'm not. I've thought about it, I've thought long and hard. You're still an entrepreneur. Don't get all fancy like Donnie Boivin.
Hey, Tim, that's for you, buddy.
I love Tim. I love Tim. Tim's great. Tim's a guy like he would. If Tim didn't already have his own thing, I tell you, Tim would be great with what we got going on here. Here we got another one. Craig Johnson. The only place you're running is to the bourbon bottle, Kevin. Look,
right.
What are you drinking, Kevin? Wait, hold on. What do we got? Bourbon?
Yeah, I actually do have bourbon. It's Redemption.
Redemption. Do you know what my favorite right now is? My new favorite. This is my new sponsor. I need guys. If you can get these guys,
You already got a little dibble.
I love them. I just finished a bottle of
that's
that.
actually really good shit.
That is really good.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorites too.
Have you heard the story though? Do you know their story?
No.
Their story or the horse soldiers story?
Yes.
Not the bourbon story, but I know the story of the horse soldiers. Yeah.
So those were the guys that went into Afghanistan. They were Green Berets that went into Afghanistan towards the start of the war. And there's a movie about them, if I remember right. There's some movie about it. And they went in, they came across the border, and they brought horses in. And one of the guys' dads or something owned a bourbon distillery. And some of the guys that made it out afterwards got together, and hence we have Horse Soldier.
That's awesome. Nowhere near as cool, but back here somewhere, I have this red bottle that's Hooker's, and it's Hooker's whiskey. And so the term hooker, just so everybody knows, comes from the guy who was I think a colonel.
Colonel Hooker. Colonel Hooker used to bring women with him with his units.
Yeah, so it was Hooker's girls.
Yep.
And so he made a whiskey. The whiskey's shit, right? It's not a good whiskey at all. But it's a cool story and a cool bottle, so I leave it back there.
we were talking about this beforehand, and I know we've made a little bit of a left turn here, folks. But Albany Distillery on the 19th, we're doing live at their tasting room in downtown Albany. And one of the things they actually have, I can't remember if it's their malt whiskey, which is a really unique flavor. It's one of those ones where it's like either you're going to love this stuff or you wouldn't pour it down your enemy's throat if their stomach was on fire. But they have a whiskey that the recipe was found at the Port of Albany, which is on the Hudson River. The recipe was found, and somebody went to them and was like, "Do you want this?" And they were like, "Yeah." So now they make that whiskey,
Nice.
And it's really a good whiskey. Like, so whoever this guy was that made this, Nate, I tell you all the time, you got to come up and visit. You got to come up August 28th. We're going to be doing the, and I've got my shirt on today. You can't really see it. The International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, Mike Latuna.
Lanudo.
Dude,
Dude, you just quit. Just your first name only today, right? Don't even try last names anymore.
Do you know how hard it is in a guy whose world is staffing to not butcher names?
Oh,
Oh,
Dude,
it's bad. It's
I
bad. I
mean,
butcher the shit out of them.
well, literally, your first name's only from here on out.
Do you know
don't
how I
even
tell
try.
people how to? Do you know how I tell people how to pronounce my first name?
How's that?
When they're like, "How do you spell your name?" I go, "Shawan, not seen." You'll never forget how to spell my name now. You'll never forget it. When they're like, "How do you spell your first name?" I'm like, "Shawan, not seen," and they're like, they always do the RCA dog. They do the nipper. They go,
Huh?
and then they go, "Hey." So you guys have Success Champion Show, which is doing 4 or 5 downloads an episode,
Right.
and then you have that one.
Dude,
And then,
I hope Success Champions is as cool as yours.
Well-
That's my life's ambition.
I have this whole thing, and we'll put this sidebar in right now. I'm better than Joe Rogan, and I know I am. He's not as interesting as I am. He just has Tommy. Look, we got another Marine.
You know what Joe Rogan has on you? What's up, bud? The only thing
There's
Joe
another
Rogan's got on anybody is 10 fucking years.
That's it. And he had a great stand-up career. He had a TV career, and he was an interesting guy. Tommy Mazzio is one of my oldest. What is this about? All right, Tommy. So Tommy showed up late. So Tommy wants to know what's the show about. So Tommy, we're talking about
Obviously, hookers and bourbon.
Hookers and bourbon is as far as we've gotten. But tonight's show, Tommy, is Marine, Army, business, growing, podcasting. That's what this one is all about tonight, Tommy. Tommy's wife, though, Hope, makes the best stuffed mushrooms you will ever have in your life. Like I still talk about them. Like they're that good. Hope makes the best stuffed mushrooms. And she was a Marine also. So let's get into this a little bit. So what is, so you guys have this successful now Success Champions. Is that just you, Donnie, or are you on that too, Kevin?
No, that's just Donnie. I've guest appeared on it, and
that
was probably his best episode, but
it was my least downloaded. I think we had like 3 people, and 2 of them
had to rename it 4 times.
Yeah. So, Success Champion was launched out of desperation. I was in my first year of business and was floundering miserably. I had no idea how to build a freaking business. I'd been an employee my entire damn life. And so I really thought, and surely you'll laugh at this, Sean. I really thought that launching a podcast was going to build my business, is going to make me somebody, and I'd be like, oh my God, you've got a podcast. Where have you been?
Fuck, I got to listen to that shit.
Right. And I realized really quickly, holy shit, this is a lot of work. But 5 months into launching Success Champions podcast, it became number 22 in the world. So I got the cool screenshot sitting next to Joe Rogan show back before he went to Spotify, Gary Vee, Tony Robbins. The screenshot I got shows me at 28, I think, and I'm sitting right next to Tim Ferriss. So it was not that I've ever met Tim, right? But my show was sitting next to his, right? And we did 200 and almost 60 episodes on that thing, and people kept coming back to hear the stories. But I will tell you, launching that podcast taught me business. And the reason I say that is prior to launching that podcast, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I was getting a chance to interview some of the biggest names in the world: Neil Patel, Shailene Johnson, Mike Michalowicz, and just some cool folks. And I couldn't have a shit show, so I had to get my stuff together. And so I had to learn to outsource. I had to learn operations. I had to learn a lot of things about business. And, what was cool was by the time I met up with Kevin, I'd already broken enough stuff that some things were starting to click. And, Kevin came into this, and meeting Kevin is the only reason that, Success Champions is as big as a company, is as big as it is now, because I get to do what I do, is being the mouthpiece out front and running my freaking suck all the time. And Kevin makes fucking everything work. And growth mode came out of the success we were finding with the networking groups and wanting to give back to all these business owners. So, and we don't produce a whole lot on Success Champions podcast anymore. It's kind of got a life of its own, but we're all in on growth mode, and it continues to grow and have a lot of fun with it.
Well, so are you still doing Success Champions, or that's done?
I mean, I've got a lot of people that are reaching out to me now more. I mean, so when it was really at its peak and just kicking ass, I mean, I was getting 10 to 20 podcast agencies trying to place people on the show. It was exhausting trying to bat away the flies around the shit pile. Trying to get people on there. So, but ultimately it doesn't feed the business like we need it to feed the business. So this is part of the reason we launched growth mode is for us, everything's got to have a business play to it. And if it's not going to bring people back to what we're doing in a business function, why keep doing it? So, I mean, it's still getting stupid downloads. But I bet it's been 6-7 months since we've produced a show on there. And our last episode,
I gotta ask Kevin something here real quick.
Yep.
So Kevin, you weren't a podcaster. Your background's IT.
My background is sales. Yeah, I came out of college. I'm actually supposed to be a high school ag teacher and wrestling coach. So I'm supposed to be an FFA.
What's an egg
High school
agriculture.
High school agriculture.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be an FFA advisor. So, but I didn't take that job. I took a sales job in tech, selling long distance and data.
So
T1,
let me put perspective on that for everybody watching. Kevin's an introvert, right? So
Well, that's what makes podcasts great.
well, but I mean, but also, I mean, for him to take a sales job introvertedly, I mean, that's a big step to go. I just so I can play. Kevin, how big was your high school?
22 in my class.
When he graduated? Right. So farm kid, legit farm kid, cattle, the whole 9 yards, small town, South Dakota, freaking ends up in a big city, Minnesota, and takes a fucking sales job. Who does that? No sane motherfucker.
You'll like this, Kevin. I don't know when we talked the last time. Did I tell you I have an uncle who lives in like not like, oh, I know somebody that's in Sturgis. No. I have an uncle who legit lives in fucking Sturgis. Like legit lives in Sturgis. Do you remember when all the stuff was going on? I'll tell the story. I don't give a shit. When all the stuff was going on last year with the different social groups in Sturgis. Do you remember the little guy who almost got ran over by the motorcycle?
Kind of, yeah.
If you go back and you look at the video, there's this smaller guy about my size who almost gets run over by a motorcycle. And there's several videos of him like walking out in the middle of the road, trying to tear this guy who's like 6'50" face off. Yeah, that's my uncle. Like my uncle was like, I'm sending messages to my mother. I'm like, do you know what your brother's doing right now? You know what brother is? And my mother's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, your brother's becoming fucking YouTube famous right this minute. Yeah, that's like a real thing. So what was that conversation like when you said, hey, I know you know me, you know sales, I know sales. Kevin sold some things. Donnie might have sold something. I don't know. He fucking might have sold maybe. So, this conversation comes up. What is that conversation like? Hey, man, yeah, I want you to be on. I've got a podcast that does, 25,000 downloads an episode. We're going to just launch some brand new shit. What was that conversation like, Kevin? Because, I think if Donnie said to me, like, Murph, the Above the Bar podcast is great. You can keep doing it. But I want to do, behind, Above the Banker podcast or some shit like that. I would probably be like Donnie, you do 25,000 downloads. Can you hang with me? like I'd ask him that. Like, I mean, it's a big ask of him. What was that conversation like?
We had actually been working together for already a couple of years at that point. And because we met in a veterans group on Facebook, Donnie was pissed off at email. And he went in and with email automation, and he was frustrated. So he went in and asked questions about MailChimp in this veterans group. And it was like, piranha. It's literally in the comments. It was like, oh yeah, I'm a MailChimp partner. Let's set up a time and we can talk. All these people trying to sell him, and I literally dropped a knowledge bomb in the post with 10 paragraphs with, hey, here's exactly what you need to do to go in and look and fix things, and just poof, there you go. Here's your answer. And he literally DM'd me in like minutes and said, okay, hey, can we jump on a Zoom call?
Well, what I first said is, damn, you're cute.
Well, I do tell everyone that he swiped right. So that is usually how I start the story. How'd you and Donnie meet? Well, he swiped right. And
that's my wife and I. So my wife and I really met online. Had great,
Well, she's obviously blind.
Yeah, well, everybody likes to say to me, like, how old's your wife? Like, is she like, and they say all these weird ages. I'm like, my wife is a succubus. She is taking my life energy from me. That's how she stays younger. But look, my future podcast partner just messaged us, Jessica Gruber.
Yep.
MailChimp. I love Jessica. Someday I'm going to get Jessica and like, we're just going to launch a show, just her and I. It's going to be a hot mess. It's just going to be.
You guys ever need website work? That's your girl.
Oh, Jessica's amazing.
Yep.
We're just going to do a podcast, and Jessica's going to talk about dancing, and I'm going to talk about drinking, and that's going to be the whole show.
I think people might tune in to listen to Jess, but I'm pretty sure you're just going to bring her down, dude.
Yeah, probably. That'll be the whole entire thing. So this show gets launched. What is, and I tried to kind of put this out to people. It really is in your face business advice.
Yeah, when we originally started it, the whole idea was we were going to do 2 episodes a week, and they're going to be really short, easy for people to consume, so they could get all the answers, and they could listen to stuff between driving between appointments, or and they're easy for them to do. We didn't want a hour-long, 2-hour, 3-hour-long conversation that people would never listen to the whole thing. So we started to really pick, all right, so what are topics that we could just really brain dump on in a short amount of time that is going to be just a ton of knowledge that people can actually go do stuff with. And that was the goal. We wanted to give people stuff that wasn't theoretical. It wasn't, high level. We wanted stuff that they could actually put into use, that they could get done with our show and they could go to their desk and say, all right, I'm going to do this thing that Donnie and Kevin talked about, and start using it right away. And that's been the focus the entire time, is there's got to be stuff that they can use. If we're not giving an action step or some takeaway like that, it was a waste of an episode for us.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, how long is an episode?
So that's a
good question.
Yeah. When we first started out, it was like 12 minutes was the max episode, but now we've elongated because the feedback and the comments that we get outside of me making fun of Kevin is, everybody needs that punching post. That's Sean. Nathan, I'm liking you more and more, kid. Stick around. But the feedback we were getting is people wanted us to go deeper into the conversations. They wanted us to go deeper into the theories before the action step. So we had to really start pulling out more of our big guns and having more in-depth conversation that were specific to different portions of the business. And so, hell, we got episodes now that are 28 minutes long, 30 minutes long, damn near.
So they're still less than 45, less than an hour.
Yep.
Like, depending upon your drives, you can digest it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our longest episode was our live episode at the summit.
Oh, that was so fucking cool.
And that was probably like close to 40 minutes.
Okay.
So we had the Badass Business Summit that we do every year, and Kevin and I went live on stage in front of a live studio audience. They're fucking cheering and throwing questions at us. I mean, it was rad. It was probably, you know what? I will say it's absolutely the coolest freaking podcasting moment of all the things I've ever done with podcasting. Doing that live show is by far the coolest thing we've done.
Live is a blast, isn't it? It's different. Like, it's different when you're live and with an audience. This is great. I love this because people can comment and we can hear their feedback right away. But doing that live like that is a different animal.
I mean, the feedback from the crowd, the laughter, the cheering, the jeering, the fucking random comments from the crowd. And I think there's validation in you're doing the right thing, that you're doing it live, and there's actually real people listening to it, right? So there's that validation angle to it that you can't replicate that.
Now I know you're scared to leave Texas, and I know, Kevin, you get out of Minnesota if anybody sent you somewhere warm. Have no doubt about it. Ever thought about, it's funny you say that, and this is just a random thought, taking that on the road?
Oh, we will be soon.
Yeah, that's already in the works. So,
really?
Yeah. So our plan is, as we're growing out Success Champions Networking, we want to grow these clusters of chapters. So we have a lot of stuff going in the DC area. We have stuff going in Cincinnati. We want to grow out these clusters where we can actually bring the show and a regional mini version of the summit to that location. So they can bring in, all the members can come in and do the live podcast. They can interact with Donnie and I in person and not just on camera, and have the real Success Champions experience. So yeah, that is totally something that we're going to do
very soon. So we've got three Success Champion networking chapters in Cincinnati. We've got fixing to be 3 chapters in the Boston, Massachusetts area. DC, we've got, I don't know what, 4 or 5.
3 working on 4.
Yeah, chapters there.
Empire's the only important one.
You can come to DC.
Well, drive your ass down. So
Empire's the only real one.
And
the rest of bullshit.
Jessica, you're awesome. The badass business summit was off. Nobody cares about Empire.
Empire's the only real one. The rest of them are bullshit.
When Empire gets to 20, 30 members, I'll start bragging.
You know what? It's kind of that, like, everybody, it's the whole Army and Marine Corps thing. I mean, let's be real. There's the few and the proud and the many and the happy. You got to make your choice. Do you want to be the few and the proud or the many and the happy?
Nobody wants to be Army because it stands for ain't ready to be Marine yet.
Marines yet. That's right.
I'd rather be Army than Air Force, or God help us, Navy.
Chair Force. Never can call your
that's right. That's right. You both are Navy, so that's true.
Yeah, men's department.
The Department of the Navy, the men's department, right? But if we want to pull out all the stops, I mean, Kevin's rent to Army. I mean, if we're gonna go all the way,
are you?
all in, yeah. He's National Guard.
Oh, nasty guard.
So they still hand out those Boy Scouts.
How many buses have you driven this year?
None, actually.
How many fifth graders have you taught?
Right.
That's New Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Nathan, there's no way in hell I'm leaving Texas. We're just gonna do podcast on the road. So.
This is a whole nother thing he's getting into. Jimmy Seafood. That's back home where I'm
from.
The
one thing I love about Baltimore, Maryland, hands down, is there is an oyster house. It's right off their inner harbor. And God, I can make sure I can remember the name of so Nathan, if you know this fucking place.
Bertha's Mussels?
No. It's a little hole in the wall, and you got to have a reservation to get in, right?
There's plenty of those, yeah.
2-story building right on it's where they do all the shops and shit in the inner harbor, or they do the fucking like the pop-up tent fairs and shit in this section of the inner harbor.
Yeah, it's probably over by Pier 6 Pavilion over that.
Yeah, something oyster house. And freaking my wife and I, when we were up there, you got to have a reservation to get into this joint. And we just happened to walk by it, and a reservation canceled the moment we walked by it, right? And we're like, oh, we got a table upstairs. I'm like, fuck it, we'll take it, whatever you got. So we go upstairs, and dude, it's freaking asshole to elbow in this place. And it's the first time I ever heard that there's different flavors of freaking oysters.
Blue Point.
Dude, yeah, they bring out this menu of, they're like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? I'm like, I thought I was ordering a cigar, or freaking weed, and, it was just all these different things. I was like, holy shit, the best freaking oysters I ever had in my life.
It's a different animal. And that's, well, you know what? That's like going to Austin down in Texas and talking about.
We don't go to Austin. Those are weird people.
But that's, you start getting into great barbecue and the briskets out there, or going up into, what is it, lutefisk? You guys eat lutefisk up there in St. Paul, don't you?
Some people ate lutefisk. Normal people don't.
What is it, lutefisk? But you guys have the Juicy Lucy or something like that.
So the Juicy Lucy is the cheese stuffed hamburger.
This is tell you the fat. This is the fat kid you're talking to. I know where to fucking find food on the globe There's no doubt about that. But I mean, but he's talking about Jimmy Seafood. I will stand by this. Jimmy Seafood does a lobster tail stuffed with crab imperial with Greek vegetables because it's in Greek town. That is unstoppable. Unstoppable. And that's where the Ravens actually do their Monday after show with like some of the players and everything. But we got a couple real quick ones. Cujo, I heard Marines like to eat fish sticks. No,
Says the guy fucking named Cujo.
Which is my buddy Tom. And no, Kevin, why are you commenting? He said crayons. I know where you're talking about. They do
I found
tours
it.
too.
It's Tame Street Oyster House. I just Googled it to find it out.
Never had that one.
Oh, dude, it's brilliant. Also, right on the corner from that place is the only place I've ever seen. They do have a Grand Marnier bar. So Grand Marnier is, of course, a cordial, liqueur that has like your regular street bottle that'll cost you maybe $30-$40 in a liquor store. Then they have a 100-year-old version, or excuse me, it was a 15-year-old version, like a 50-year-old version or something. But you can buy a bottle of Grand Marnier and literally keep it in a locker on the wall. So every time you come in town or fly in town or visit, your bottle of Grand Marnier is fucking there. It is a cool ass bar. There's some cool things.
They have a lot of cool stuff. Well, you know what? My mother still lives down there, and we'll get off of this here in a minute. But it's the biggest little town you'll ever go to. Like you go back home,
as long as you don't get out of the Inner Harbor.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Look, you go through the Inner Harbor, and there's 50 cops every 7 feet. Because many, many moons ago, there was a couple of tourists that were murdered in the city. And they were like, we'll fix that shit. There's no cops anywhere else in the city, but you go to Pikesville, it is mostly a Jewish neighborhood. You go to Greektown, it is Greek. Germantown, it is German. Where I grew up in Dundalk, it is Italian, Irish. You go to these neighborhoods back there, they are still Little Italy in Baltimore is still fucking Italians.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and they're not letting you in. Probably like the only one that was an offshoot was we had a Mexican restaurant, and it's still there, and it's an amazing Mexican restaurant called Tio Pepe's.
Nice, that's a great name. I've heard. Actually, I think I've heard of that.
Tio Pepe's is like world. Actually, kid that I put Marine Corps story. Kid I put in the Marine Corps.
You asshole.
I know. That was my job. That's what I did. Let's talk about sales for a minute. We're going to roll right into sales from there. A kid I put in the Marine Corps. His best friend, and I can't remember the kid's name, it's like Julian or something like that, is now a big-time chef back home in Baltimore, like been on Baltimore Magazine, the whole 9 yards. And this is a kid from Pennsylvania. Real quick, go through this. Jimmy Seafood is where all the NFL players and pro wrestlers go, absolutely. If you end up in Dundalk, get out. Shut up. Yeah.
The last thing I got about Baltimore, we're going to talk about what you want.
Yep.
The bar is One-Eyed Mike's. It's a Grand Marnier club. It is so fucking cool. So if you're in Baltimore, One-Eyed Mike's, go check it out. I don't even know the owner or anything, but if you like,
bars don't disappear down there. Yeah. Like there used to be, there's High Tops. High Tops has been there forever, and it's just because the bar has a third floor. It's called High Tops. There used to be a place that was actually had all their liquor on tap. That was in Fells Point. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Fells Point.
Fells Point was a spot. So I'm looking to get into business. I'm looking for some advice in business, and I'm looking for frank advice. What am I getting out of growth mode? What's coming from that?
Kevin?
It's all the things not to do, and then all the things to do instead of what we did that will actually work. So, it's advice like stop worrying about all the stuff that makes you sound like you're a CEO and actually just go out and sell your shit. And that's something that both Donnie and I did when we started. It was like, ooh, we're a CEO, so we're going to do CEO things. So, I built here's what our culture is going to be. And I built processes and marketing things and letterhead and logos and websites. And yes. And then all of a sudden you're like, crap, I don't have any money. When really what you should be doing right away is like, go sell, figure out what your thing is and then go sell it and make sure you can actually sell something. And that product is something that people actually want. Before you start spending a ton of time doing other stuff that makes you sound like you're a CEO. But that's the biggest advice we give everyone that's launching a business or trying to grow their business is you need to go sell. As the CEO of the company, if you aren't the number one salesperson in your company, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I love that. The only thing that I would add is you get a cool perspective from Kevin and I. So you kind of get the introvert extrovert, perspective. You get the Kevin's really good in the technical sales, and he spent a lot of his career in the tech side of things. I spent my side more on the service relationship side of things. And he's not to say he was not a relationship sales guy, but you get a good, authentic, raw touch and approach to building your business, sales, and every episode comes from the champions. So we have the Success Champion networking groups and all the Success Champion companies. And every episode is curated basically by them. So what you're going to see.
What do you mean by that?
So Kevin and I are constantly fielding questions like, how do I do this? How do I do that? What this is what I'm screwing up. How do I do it better? And so we make episodes geared to answer those questions. And even in the episodes now, which we didn't start out doing this, but in the episode now, each episode, you're going to hear a question on the topic that allowed us to create the episode, basically. So you may hear things that are like how to sell in Facebook groups, is an episode we did, and Kevin's the absolute master in selling in Facebook groups. And as he says in the episode, what did you say? He said, I'm a victim of his approach. I think
Donnie's a victim of my technique.
There it is. That's it. So and so we take real questions from people and we teach them based on what we fucked up and how we figured out how to do certain things, right and proper in the show. And at the end of the day, we just don't give a shit about sharing the things that we've not done well in business to help other people.
Well, and we've been pretty open and honest with everyone that the motto of our business is let's go break shit.
Yeah.
And really, literally what we do is we have an idea that sounds cool and sounds like it's promising. We put it in the action. We figure out what the quickest way to get it up and running is, and the most viable version of it that we can get out with the least amount of work, and we test it. And
I think sometimes Kevin wish I would stop coming up with so many fucking ideas, but
some of them work really well. Like this whole
some of them work really well.
This whole Success Champions networking thing was one of those. He messaged me at 4:00 in the morning. Hey, we should launch virtual networking groups. And then
I read that. Hey man, I got this amazing idea. What do you think? Shut up, fucker. I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
This whole thing.
What? It's 6. You haven't answered. Does that mean it's a bad idea? No, it means I'm not ready for you. I haven't had coffee yet. Leave me alone.
Well, the entire idea, and I want to get into it. So Success Champions Network and Growth Mode Podcast and all these different elements. And this might sound like an odd question to ask, but would you consider those as entrepreneurial?
100%, because so let me define entrepreneur.
Please.
There's a difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner. A business owner is someone who builds one business, gets to a place where they can enjoy life, is content in that one business, one thing always, right? Beautiful thing. An entrepreneur is fucking dumb. Okay? Because we're the idiots that are like, you know what? Let's start a business. Because I want to wake up every fucking day, get punched in the face, and get beat the shit out of verbally, mentally, everything else, and then go, fuck it. Let's do that shit again tomorrow.
That shit was amazing.
Right.
Yes. I got kicked in the nuts. Look at that.
And the biggest difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner is an entrepreneur can't turn it off. And it's the biggest awareness for me, because so I didn't launch a business till I was 40, which means Kevin was like 90. He's
I'm
only like
not-
5 years on.
Yeah.
He's 5 years on me, but but so and I didn't know you could start a business until I was 40 years old, right? That just wasn't a concept to me.
I didn't
And-
even want to start a business when I started mine.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's a huge story and thing that people need to hear. Is it doesn't matter how fucking old you are. If you want to get in the game, just know that what I think my biggest shock from going from being an employee to a business owner was always being a top producer, always being one of the top salespeople there is in the companies. I mean, literally, I've only ever had one person outsell me in a company. And being in those roles, I thought I worked hard. And I really thought I outworked everybody. Being an entrepreneur and running my own business, I can tell you that sales guy who was a top producer, was the first one in, last one to leave, was a lazy bitch. Because the amount of work that Kevin and I put in now, and Kevin's the night owl, I'm the early guy, and there's oftentimes I wake up to messages from Kevin and are like, hey, I've done this and this and this. And there's most nights I'm sending him fucking messages at 3:30 in the morning because I'm just getting up and freaking running the day. And it all comes down to the entrepreneur just can't turn it off. And they're constantly innovating and creating new things. And we've just found a way to harness it and bring a lot of people along for the ride.
Let me go through this real quick. We've got a lot of messages.
Nathan
says that the bar you're talking about, it's on the other side of Oriole Stadium. That's Camden Yards, great bar. Tim says, "Oh, cool. Let's let Kevin talk."
He's used to it.
another Marine buddy of mine, Jonathan Hudson. Funny story. Him and I got into a shaving cream and bug spray fight in.
I don't want to know what you did in the Army.
In Yuma, Arizona. And the funny part about it was, I'll always remember, he went to say something. He was like, hey, this is, and I went, and sprayed like shaving cream right into his mouth. I'll never forget that. Like, Yuma, Arizona was like one of the funnest places I've ever been in my career in the Marine Corps, because Yuma was one of these places that didn't need the Marine Corps to exist. So going there when we showed up,
unlike Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is
which is where I will retire at, is Jacksonville. And
why?
Bro, you don't know. See, here's what. Let me fix you for a second. God, gotta fucking always fix you. God. So here's the first thing, Donnie. Do you like the vacation?
Not in fucking Jacksonville, North Carolina.
No, you don't. But you would love to go to Surf City or Topsail, which is where people pay.
Like my farm.
Which is where people pay stupid amount of money to go, which is in Onslow County, next to Camp Lejeune, and people pay stupid amounts of money to go there. Or the other one is Wilmington, North Carolina, which is 45 minutes away.
Cool.
And people love to go to Wilmington, which is 45 minutes away. Or guys like me who are retired and Kevin that will retire, I can stay in Jacksonville and get all my benefits. Did you know that Jacksonville, North Carolina was routinely ranked as the #1 military city to raise a family?
Dude, there ain't no way in hell I would raise kids in fucking Jacksonville.
Dude, it's not the Jacksonville
20,000 fucking swinging dick Marines.
Dude,
no
it is not
way in hell.
Dude, it is not the town. Listen to me. It is not the Jacksonville So they have a bypass that goes past everything. Court Street does not exist anymore the way it used to. Oh, that's all gone. So they actually created a way for the road to bypass. You can only go one way on Court Street. Now it's all bypass. There's none of that exists. You're only going to Court Street now. And for those of you who don't know what Court Street is, go take a moment, go look it up. I'm not going to explain the shit, but I put it this way. It was more popular at one point in time than the Berlin Red District. It was the American version of it. It does not exist anymore.
So to explain Court Street for him, one quick story is one night at the bar with a bunch of my buddies, because the bar we hung out was these taverns right out the fucking gate of fucking Lejeune. And we tried to be responsible. We're like, fuck it. We can't drive back on base. We're never going to pass. So we call a fucking taxi cab. And the taxi cab's like, well, the bar, the stand's 100 feet away. Just walk down to us. We're like, cool. We'll just walk down to you. So as we're walking to the taxi stand, cop pulls up and goes, boys, what are you doing? We're obviously Marines, and he's like, boys, what are you doing? We're like, we're walking to the taxi stand. He's like, cool, hop in. I'll take you down there. And obviously we were shit hammered, right? Just no business probably walking on the street. So me and my buddy Lo, we jump in the back of this freaking cop car. And as we jump in the back, we pass out the taxi stand. And I'm like, hey, the taxi stand's like, he goes, oh, no, wait. There's one further up the way. I'm going to drop you at that one. So we're just bullshitting with the cop. And we pass the second taxi stand. I'm like, wait, that's the second taxi stand. He goes, yeah, sorry, boys. Y'all are a little too intoxicated to be out walking around. The motherfucker takes us down to the drunk tank, right? And just throws us in the drunk tank. And so now we're in the drunk tank. And of course, we have no business being in public. Right. So me and Lo just start singing every country song we can think of at the top of our fucking lungs. Right. And so the cops are coming back and they're telling us to shut up. The rest of the inmates, or not inmates, but the people that are in the drunk tank, but they're telling us to fucking shut up. They actually end up taking Lo and they put him on the women's side of the jailhouse. And you could hear him and me. We're singing now through fucking walls. Trying to keep it till we both pass out. But yeah, I mean, Court Street was
well, you could be 18 years old. There was the
Yeah.
Flamingo on Court Street, and you can go there and drink. But so when people talk about Jacksonville now, listen to me. It's not our Jacksonville when we were kids in the early 90s. It does not exist. There's 2 Walmarts.
Well, that makes it all better.
Yeah,
It does. But you know what? But
Oklahoma had 2 Walmarts too, but I ain't raising a family there.
well,
They
here's the
got no
biggest
teeth,
thing.
but they got a Walmart.
Here's the biggest thing. Jackson. So this is something, I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Prior to the 2000 census, military bases did not have to disclose to the census how many people were on the base. After the 2000 census, they started to disclose. Jacksonville went from a town of like 30,000, maybe 40, to over 70, 80,000.
Yeah, because there was I think when I was there between 95 and 99, there was 40 some odd thousand Marines on the base. And there was nothing there. I mean, you had Highway 17, which is the main drag, and then you went a little bit in town. Yeah.
230, 309, 238, 17.
Yeah.
Well, you were there when I was there. I was there 94 through 98 and then did all my other shit and then came back. But yes, Jacksonville, my stepmother owns a house that I sold to my father down there. And when I retire, it's on a golf course in Jacksonville. I can't wait to leave New York to go there. And New York is actually, here's a funny, New York is a vet friendly state, but this is an extremely vet friendly state, like extremely vet friendly. They have a lot of like bullshit politics here. I'm not going to get into it, but from a vet standpoint, highly vet friendly.
Well, Texas is a vet friendly state unless you go to Austin.
I want to go to Austin.
Then they don't give a shit about veterans at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's Virginia. That's the state of Virginia. Virginia hates veterans. Virginia is the only state I know of that has like a couple of military bases and everything else, and they could give a shit less if you're a veteran.
I took my truck down to Austin for an event and had all my Marine Corps stickers scraped off my fucking truck. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd burn the city to the ground, but that's different. Let's go through this real quick. Tim, great guest tonight. Nate, working with Sean, he needs help. Absolutely. Look, these guys both know this. No, you only make Kevin feel 90. Oh, look, here's Kevin Snow. That's so true. He comments on his own stuff. Tim, so true. There's pain being an entrepreneur, but I'd rather do that than sit at a 9-to-5. F that.
100%, Tim.
Craig Johnson. We used to go to Wilmington from Fort Bragg. Myrtle Beach was fun. Fort Bragg, fucking Vietnam,
dude. But going from
Victory Drive in Bennington.
Dude, going from Camp Lejeune to Myrtle Beach, it was always great when you hit the border because all the motorcycles would be lined up, taking off their fucking helmets and shit.
Yes.
To get down into, because that's, I mean, I had a little crotch rocket when I was in the Corps, and we used to drive that down to Myrtle Beach, and it was the coolest thing. If you made it all the way to the end of the strip without some random chick jumping on your bike, you can't do it.
So let's ask this question, and I want to stay with the entrepreneurial piece for a minute. And we talked about entrepreneur. What are your thoughts? What does it take? And I know you've said the crazy and all that different stuff, but what is your advice when somebody says to you, not necessarily entrepreneurial, but just says, "Hey, I'm looking to start a business." If there was one thing going back, all the different things that both of you have broken, and they said, "Hey, I'm looking to start a business," what is the one thing that you would say to that person? This is the first thing you need to do.
Kevin?
All right, so the high C in me is going to come out because my first thing is going to be, all right, you need to go.
You need to explain that. Hold on.
All
You
right.
can't just say the high C in me. Like somebody thinks you're drinking orange juice or fucking something.
Agent Orange, baby. So there's 4 types of personalities. It's a DISC profile. So if anyone wants to look it up, they can just search DISC, DISC. 4 types of personalities: D's, I's, S's, and C's. The C's are your detail oriented, need to know how everything works, why it works, how it works. They are, structure, process driven. I'm the guy when a sales rep is going to be selling me something, I've already read every page on their website. So, that's really who we are. We also tend to be the more introverted people.
Boring.
No. We're respectful of the people around us. But what, the first thing I would tell someone to do is like, oh, I got this really great idea, is like, well, there's this thing called the internet. Go see who else is doing it and figure out if it's even a viable thing. And then go try and sell it to someone that you think would use it. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to start a company. We're going to do this really cool thing. I'm like, you mean that really cool thing that Google does? Right. So you need to understand what's out there, and you might have the best idea, but if someone else is doing it, it's going to be really hard to innovate and make it yours so that it's, it's great and it's scalable. So you need to know what's out there, and then you just have to go try and sell it. That's always the first thing you have to do is, will someone give you money for it? If you talk to 50 people and none of them will give you money, either you don't understand what you're doing and how to position it, or it's not a good idea.
I hate that I'm going to fix him to say this, but I 100% fucking agree with him. If you can't sell it, it's not a business. And if you can't sell, you're not going to build a business. Oh, come on, One-Eyed Jack. I see you.
I want to throw something out there. You've already said this, and I'm thinking about the two of you. Kevin being an introvert in that sense. He's a C. He's a detail-oriented guy. What about a detail-oriented guy like that? Does he need a Donnie or a Sean?
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like a guy who you can let me explain to you my product and my process. No. You go sell it for me.
No.
It
doesn't matter where you're on the spectrum. D, I, S, and C. It doesn't matter. If you can't sell, you can't build a business. Period. Because I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs Kevin and I run across from that are like, if I could just hire salespeople, I can make this work. And you're a fucking idiot. And it becomes down to, because nobody's going to sell your shit to make you wealthy if you can't sell it yourself first.
If you don't believe in it.
Yep. I mean, it's beyond believing it. If you can't get somebody who's never heard about you, your product or service, to say, yes, I will buy your stuff, you're never going to build a business. Go ahead, Kevin.
So I had a really cool idea, but then it just kind of left me.
How's that bourbon taste?
How's that Army working for you? How's that Army taste?
But no, it doesn't matter what your personality is. If you're a D, I, S, or C, because you're the one with the passion behind your product and service. You're the one that's going to go out and be able to talk about what you do and figure out how to make it work and how to sell it. The biggest issue that small businesses have is that they jump from the CEO founder-led sales model into we have salespeople, and they haven't figured out anything yet. And they bring on salespeople and they hire them. There's like, oh, this Donnie Boivin guy, he was a number one salesperson at this place. He can sell stuff. And they bring them on, and then they just like, go sell my product. And they have no clue. They don't give them anything. They can't tell them who the client, the prospects are that they should be targeting. They can't tell them, the value statements. They have no sales process. They haven't figured any of that out. They haven't broken it yet and then fixed it. And that's why you have to be able to sell your stuff as a CEO, because you have to figure that out. You're never going to have a successful salesperson come on to your company unless there's someone like Donnie or someone like me who can figure that out quickly, because that's what we've done. Any other salesperson is going to come in, they're going to get frustrated within a couple months and be gone.
Right. Because the average salesperson, if you folks don't know it, we're looking for process, product knowledge, and then point of sale. That's it. What's your process? How do you want me to sell this thing? Give me some product knowledge. And then who's my target?
I'll tighten that up even more.
Yeah.
Most salespeople are going to walk up to you and go, how much money can I make?
Yeah, that's that is the other
Everything
side
else
to it.
is then
What's my
secondary.
commission? I work with a company out in my way, very, very successful in the same industry Donnie used to be in, that he cut his teeth in, and they're very successful and they have a great process. But my conversation with people when I'm talking to them about working there is money. There is nothing else in that conversation. And if you've never worked commission sales, you will find it. All those people you were like, that dude's lazy. You want to find out who's lazy or not? Do commission sales.
Oh, real cool.
Commission sales will teach you who the laziest person in the room is, because the laziest person in the room will be the first one to stand up and go, this job's bullshit. They didn't teach me nothing. They didn't show me nothing. They didn't give me nothing. The guy who doesn't say anything and then just at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, he's walking out the door, going, I'll see everybody later. That dude's pockets are fat.
Yeah, it's funny. I grew up on a farm. My mom and dad, they owned a beef farm, grain farm. They had cattle, pigs, the whole thing. Mom would always be like, I can't understand how you can do this commission thing and not knowing how much money you're going to make. And I'm like, hello, you own a farm.
Yeah, you never know how much you're going to make.
You are totally salespeople, and you have no clue what you're going to make. But that's, and I didn't have that realization until later that, oh my God, they owned a business. And because it was always just the farm. It was this is how our family survives. We farm. It's really a business.
My dad was a salesman, and my dad was a business owner. We owned a liquor store. We owned a bar and a restaurant with a raw bar in it. We owned properties growing up as a kid. My dad was that guy. But that's the other side to it is, we talked a little bit about entrepreneur, and I want to touch on it for just a moment. We're hitting that 1 hour mark. And look, folks, as we're going through this, this is what the two of you do to me. I didn't even run fucking banners for you two. I didn't even run banners. We just got into this shit. For those of you that are watching the live, look, we're talking a little bit here. We got Donnie Boivin.
Look at that.
Fucking bullshit.
I left that shit up there just for you.
Donnie Boivin. You got to even say it like you're a fucking wuss. And Kevin Snow, they've got a show, Growth Mode Podcast, Success Champions Network. I will plug it for a moment. I belong to Success Champions Network. It's a great. I'm not a big. I believe in networking. I believe networking is true, and I always have one question for anyone in networking. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. If you think your network is strong, here's the way you test if your network is strong. And I want to hear you guys' two thoughts on this. Go up to whoever you think the biggest player in your network is. Ask them to refer somebody to you. If you can go up to them and they go, absolutely, let me introduce you to somebody. Absolutely. This guy right here, this guy can help you. This gal right here, this gal does what you're looking for. If they're willing to do that, they believe in you and they do what you do. and they know who you are. If you walk up to them and you say, "Hey, I see you're connected with Donnie. I see you're connected with Kevin. Can you introduce me?" And they go, well, well, check that network. Check who you're hanging out with. Check who you believe is in your network. Because first off, they don't believe in you. They think you're bullshit.
The one thing that I really want people to understand is however you see yourself, your network is a direct reflection, right? If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to. And if you're not showing up, nobody's going to show up for you. And traditional networking is broken. I mean, when Kevin and I launched Success Champions Networking, I mean, traditional networking, correct me if I'm wrong, but is a bunch of assholes sitting around doing these stupid things called 60-second commercials with dumb fucking jingles on the back end. Then some idiot gets up and does this 10-minute presentation that nobody gives a fuck about. He's like, this old white gray-haired dude launched my company 200 fucking years ago. And then they fabricate a whole bunch of fucking referrals because they turn networking into this shit show of you don't have to go sell. You come show up to this fucking meeting and this will be your sales team. But only people in the fucking meeting were a bunch of other broke-minded, broke-ass fucking people. So, I mean, and that's the whole reason we launched Success Champion Networking was to bring the legit badasses together that understand that networking is a portion of your overall business development strategy.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if anybody looks at like a networking group and goes, that's where my business comes from, all of my business, you're a fucking moron. Because if you're not out selling outside of your networking group, you bring no value back to that group. Right? You have got to be going and growing your business outside of the networking group. And if you get a bunch of people together that understand that sales first and then networking, I go sell, I create my business, I come here to scale my business, then, dude, that guy has got a fucking epic beard.
Hold on.
That is pretty much exactly what I was thinking.
Hold on. Dude. So that's Scott Sikora. First off, he's in Austin. And Scott talking networking and talking all the things you're talking. So Nathan made a comment earlier. I've referred Sean a lot. Nathan and I have shared guests plenty of times. So that's the podcasting thing. I met you through networking. Jessica's through that. Scott has what's called the Talking Beards Network. And those guys are all competitive beard growers.
Awesome.
Oh no, you have no idea how awesome those guys are. Like I all competitive.
I mean,
beard
right
guys.
Now, I feel like I can't grow a beard looking at that fucking thing.
No, you should feel insignificant.
You're right. I do.
But one of the greatest compliments I've ever got was from Scott when he goes, "Murph, I love the fact that your beard naturally skunks." He's like, I love the fact that I'm like, I feel like I've done something.
For the longest time, I had 2 white strips going. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking cool. Then it all said, fuck you, we're going gray.
And look,
right.
Kevin, read that, Kevin.
Yeah, I did. So I'm still in the National Guard. So every month I have to shave.
Yeah.
So literally, I had drill on last weekend. So Sunday I was clean shaven, and now I have another month where I get to grow it out until I lose it again.
Such a nasty guard thing, no Marine would do that.
You have to stay freshly shorn the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
but Scott and I, Scott is one of these guys. But here's another business guy. He does.
Scott, I'd love to get to know you more, brother. Make sure we hook up some way somehow. I really want to. I'm jealous of your beard.
And if Scott can get you hooked up, between Scott and between Aaron's beard is 2 feet long. Scott's is pretty close to that. And these guys, but we talk about networking. You want to talk about networking ninjas? Here's 2 networking ninjas who know their place. And that's another thing with networking, knowing your place. I truly believe this.
Did you get put in your place or do you know your place?
Know your place.
Okay.
You and I have tried to put each other in our places, but that shit don't work out. That's that whole fucking meathead, jarhead thing. But knowing your place. These guys know the beard network. They are across the globe in the beard network. If I said to Scott, hey Scott, you know what? I'm going to launch something and it's going to be beard related. I'm going to reach out to that guy. And if he believes in it, I'm in.
So for me, I look at a guy like Scott, just looking at his picture. And if I buy beard oil and I buy fucking, shit for my beard and everything else, the motherfucker better look like that.
Right.
Right? That bitch better be fucking manicured like a motherfucker.
Can you see that? That's Aaron. Can you see that sticker?
No.
I'm not taking it off the board. Here, maybe I can take it off. Can you see it?
But I mean,
that's Aaron's sticker.
That's crazy. Look at that beard. But for me, that is a motherfucker that loves what his life is about. And if you don't do beard oils and something, Scott, I'm fucking.
Oh, he does.
Pissed. All right.
They do. Honest Amish. Honest Amish is is one of their big sponsors.
Scott, we seriously need to talk, dude. But freaking, that's somebody that just embraces the fuck out of what they do. And when you find somebody that's that passionate about it, like knowing that it is his own beard oil, I bet this motherfucker can sit down and would be able to geek out for like 12 hours straight on how to fucking manicure your beard.
So can I tell you, even funnier is he was a concert promoter and he's a professional musician who like legit knows how to play and used to tour. Him and I did a show and we were about 2.5 hours into it and finally had to go, man, if we don't fucking stop this shit, we're going to have problems. Yeah, we were 2.5 hours into it. Look at that. He wants you to hit him up. So I'll introduce you guys through Facebook. We'll make that happen. Nathan, if you guys ever need a guest, I'm here to see. Now that's another example. That's the whole networking piece. And folks, you're going to hear me talk networking as long as you listen to my show. And I believe my show is who you are, what you do, and what makes you great. I share this with everybody. I want everybody to be part of the bar network. I want everybody having a conversation. Nathan has to sneak up on a glass of water. He's so ugly. But Nathan is one of the most impressive networkers I know.
Dude, but that's why traditional podcasting.
Yeah, he's got a face for podcasting.
Right.
He's got a face for podcasting. He's perfect for it. It's just amazing. And music tastes. Guesses?
No.
Kevin likes emo.
Donnie must like country music because all of the fixing. I'm guessing Kevin likes emo. Sean obviously likes show tunes. This has been fun, but I need to go. Peace out. And now there's another one. I actually got to get Tim to come to some of our networking stuff and get his girlfriend to come in because she does actually like fashion and helps people with their clothes. Her and I had a great conversation. So, and thank you, Scott. I'm trying to live up to y'all's image and I'll plug those guys every Tuesday. I believe it's 8 p.m. Talking Beards, Kevin or Scott and Aaron do their show and they have a phenomenal show. They actually have a guy that's not far from me here in New York. So, this is definitely one of those shows when you get 3 meathead service members together, we can do this thing all night long. Especially because those guys are a couple hours behind me, so they can get away with it. If somebody wanted to reach out to the two of you, how are we reaching out to you? Take your shit off of mute there, Green Crayon. You're muted.
God damn it. My dogs were barking. I was trying to respect your fucking show. So fucking hell. There's a guy named Mike something that actually came out with CREs, Koran's Ready to Eat. That's a real thing.
No, God.
The chocolate crayons, yeah. And you can color with the fucking things too. But
oh God, that's
so two ways you can get in touch with us. One, you can go to successchampionnetworking.com, go visit a chapter, or you can just send the word success to 817-318-6030. We'll send you all of our shit, some free training, some other stuff, all the links to all of our stuff. So text the word success to 817-318-6030. That's it. That's the dude.
Funny.
And we'll send you all kinds of crazy shit. And
Say
by
the
the
phone
way,
number again. Say the phone number again.
817-318-6030 and text the word success and we'll send you all kinds of shit. And I literally took a screenshot of Tim Sokol saying music taste guesses. Donnie And I'm fixing to post that motherfucker in our private Facebook group for all
That's
Success
funny.
Champion Network. But
That's too funny.
Or I mean, you can go listen to the Growth Mode podcast wherever you listen to podcasts too. I mean,
And they can still find Success Champions,
Yep.
back episodes of Success Champions. Growth Mode is the one that's going on right now, trying to get to the Above the Bar podcast level.
I hope we don't downgrade that far, but
Bitch, I hate your whole face. I hate your whole face right now.
I hate your whole face.
You said he had a pretty mouth the other day.
That's right. Kind of mouth only. Well, we're not going to say who loves that. So they've got that, and and look, folks, I'm a big fan of networking. I truly, truly believe in networking. Even if you take a moment and reach out to a local chapter, even if I want it to be these guys, I truly do, because I do believe in what they're doing. But the other side of it is, even if it's not these guys, and you find whatever network that you can find and you build a personal network, you got to build it. It's that important, because a true network will tell you that you're screwed. And that might sound odd to say. Your true network won't tell you that you're great. Your true network will tell you that you're fucked up. I say this about, Donnie and I have had this conversation when he was on the show. I thought I had all these cool, catchy names for my fucking show. Yay, look at these cool names. And Donnie goes, your names suck. I'm like, what do you mean my names suck? He says, change your names to make sure that the names of your show match what people want, what people search for. So I changed them. My downloads went up. Kevin and I had a conversation, and Kevin and I talked, and I was like, yeah, we'll get to know. And Kevin said, well, let me help you build this. And Kevin and I talked, and Kevin introduced me and validated a lot of what I was doing, because Kevin is the kind of guy who says, hey, check out what Sean's doing. Kevin says, go look at what that guy's doing. He's doing something that's important. If you don't have those people in your network, and everybody in your network's just high-fiving you, they're looking for your wallet, folks. They just want your wallet. They just want to get something out of your wallet. So take a moment and look who's in your network. There's a great saying I saw recently. It was something like, don't look for what is it? It's something about, don't look for the people that come to you when you're down. Look for the people that are coming for you when you're successful. Because the people that are still around you when you're successful are people that are supporting it and coming with you. People that show up when you're down just want to see you down and just be like, oh, you're down. I'll be down with you.
I want to 2 seconds on that. Misery loves company, right?
Yep.
So I want the motherfuckers around me that are like, dude, you are fucking crushing it, and I'm so proud that you're doing amazing things. That same motherfucker, if you're a friend of Dumb Sean, you're a friend of mine, dude. Scott, you just became did we just become best friends? I think we just became best friends. That same motherfucker that cheers your success on, when you hit a dark moment in your journey and you're like, fucking life sucks, shit south, that dude will look at you and go, the fuck you doing, you idiot?
Yes.
Get the fuck up. Let's run again. And the greatest meme I've ever seen in my life was a Marine is sitting down in his fucking hole, right? And the doctor comes along and says, dude, the way to fix all your fucking problems is take these pills. The Marine takes these pills and he's like, but I'm still in this fucking hole. The psychiatrist comes up and says, hey, you just need to fucking, think about all your problems, and eventually you'll think your way out of this thing. So he thinks about his problems, can't get out of it. He's still in the fucking hole. The mom and family come along. They're like, you just need to quit thinking about it. Get out of that fucking place and you'll get out of this hole. He's like, I'll quit thinking about it, but he's still in the fucking hole. Another Marine comes along and jumps right in the fucking hole with the guy. And the guy in the hole goes, dude, what the fuck? Now we're both in this hole. And the second Marine goes, yeah, I've been here before, but I know how to get the fuck out of here. Get off your ass. Let's fucking run. And I think if you surround yourself with motherfuckers that won't let you suck, won't let you sit in your shit, won't let you fucking just be a goddamn idiot that's not making it in life, and it's like, get off your ass and fucking run, you will build the life you've been trying to build. how you see yourself is directly represented in the network you fucking hang out with. And if motherfuckers aren't building you up, opening doors, and literally helping you build your dreams, then you're playing the wrong fucking game. Come hang out with us in Success Champions. We will absolutely help you go fucking big as fuck.
Look, folks, that's what I've been trying to tell you. And Jessica last week, Success Champions. Sean Crane next week, Success Champions.
Oh, dude, you bring Sean on?
Sean's next week. Well, Sean's next week because I have a whole thing with
guys. No bullshit, dude. And cut this thing out and use it to market. If you have not heard fucking Sean Crane's fucking story, this guy is the real fucking deal. 6.5 years in fucking prison. And fucking this dude has got a story that fucking crushes. I literally, how I found, dude, Scott, we're going to make that happen. I literally found Sean Crane because I was going through Amazon looking at books. I found his fucking book. And I read his book, and it's what got me into kickboxing because I realized I was getting older, wasn't taking care of myself. I reached out to that motherfucker on Instagram and said, dude, you got a brilliant story. Can I tell it on Success Champions? I interviewed him on the fucking Success Champions podcast, and his episode blew the fuck up. And so we brought him out to the Badass Business Summit, and that dude fucking crushed it on our stage. Just a badass motherfucker.
I got to introduce you to Jeff Descovich.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is so you know how Sean spent 6 years? How about being 16 years old, spending 16 years for a rape and murder you didn't commit?
That was Sean's thing. He fucking was in for a crime he didn't commit.
And Jeff, there's a documentary called I have to look it up. But Jaya Wirtz did the documentary. It's I can't think of the name of it right now. But Jeff is now part of one of those big groups. He ended up getting his law degree. He's now got an Esquire after his name, and he represents. That's why I wanted to talk to Sean, because I'm a big into the whole people who are wrongfully accused or sentences that don't make sense. I'm gonna get in. I don't get into politics. I don't do it. I don't.
I'll do it for you. Fucking prisons is a business. So,
look, when you realize that the number one lobbyist group in the entire effing country is the corporate prisons, number one lobbying group is corporate prisons. When all of you voted for a guy who created a crime bill that has locked up more people because they tied 80% of your sentence to your time served, please don't fucking talk to me about that guy. When those of you that live in California get on your high horse and realize that the problem with our gun laws in this country are because of a fucking guy who had Alzheimer's, please don't talk to me. Please don't fucking talk to me. Read a fucking book. I can't even get into it. And look, Scott and I are fucking soulmates. If we lived closer, we'd probably canoodle. I honestly love you and appreciate you and your show. Thank you for what you do, and buddy, I love those guys over on Talking Beards. They really, and they almost got me banned from Facebook. I love it.
Hey, Scott, I promise you, brother, we are gonna hook up.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
And dude, get me your beard shit. Let's promote the fuck out of it.
Those guys, honest Amish. Those guys do honest Amish.
I mean, I'd say get Kevin your beard shit too, but look at him.
we just do baby oil. Kevin just gets baby oil.
Give me a week; it'll be back.
But we're gonna get ready. We're gonna close up the bar, folks, as we always do. We're coming up on that mark. Having Donnie on, having Kevin on. These are guys that, from a military standpoint, we could sit here and have this conversation all night long. At some point, our significant others would be like, "You gonna get the fuck off of there?" But we know how it works. At least this time, Donnie didn't have like a sheep fucking baying in the background or nothing like that. And at no point your roof collapsed in on you, Kevin, from ice and snow. That's pretty impressive.
Oh. Dude, brother, guys, do me a favor. If you are listening to this show and you guys got any freaking advice or
I do
help out of
not
this
struggle.
thing, that's so awesome. He is in the rental army.
Oh,
But seriously, if you guys got any advice, anything out of here that helps you out whatsoever, do Sean the fucking biggest favor, man, and seriously tell another motherfucker to tune into this thing. Tell one other person that they need to come hang out. The dude's got it. I mean, his logo does not look like him at all. It looks like some other fucking asshole that actually looks good. But dude, literally, you telling one other motherfucker to listen to his show is like walking up and embracing a brother. It really, truly is, because the hardest thing building a podcast is growing your audience, because it requires so much handshaking. It's like being a fucking politician. You've got to fucking embrace and tell everybody about it. So help him out and tell 1, 2, 3 other people about his fucking show. I mean, it's a podcast might as well be a full-time fucking job. And this dude's doing it, and he's doing it well. So
episode 104. This is 104.
That's fucking rad.
Well, as we get ready to close it up, as I will always say, folks, check out Growth Mode Podcast. It's on all your different podcast platforms. Go search it out. There's nowhere you can't find it. Reach back out and look up Success Champions show. Plenty of downloads, plenty of great episodes you can learn from that one as you're building you're building your business. Son of a bitch. Look, George Dickel sour mash whiskey. Let's talk about that for a minute. As you're building everything up here, folks. Facebook, Success Champion Network, LinkedIn. You can find Donnie on LinkedIn. You can find Kevin on LinkedIn. Reaching out to them, they are approachable. These are real people. This isn't, one of those type of situations where you reach out to this person and they say, "Hey, my person will get with you." Success Champions Network. It is worth it. It is something that I do personally to build up what I'm doing, because I give a shit. I want to build my business, and it's been successful for me. Scott's got one more. Can't begin to understand what ex-military goes through, but I love this show. I love the people in the content. There's the three of us, and I got to talk to you guys about something. I'm thinking about Patreon.
You should.
But I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how if it's worth it. But we'll talk afterwards. For those of you that are listening, if you think you would be interested in a Patreon, something after the show, like a post show, let me know. Kevin's over here like.
I was really afraid that he was thinking about OnlyFans, honestly.
It's just my feet. The shit look like hobbits. I got hobbit feet, like all furred up. My feet have never been cold a day in my life. Shit's all furry.
He said OnlyFans.
I have only members. So
no wonder you're broke.
That's it, brother. So make sure you check out these guys. If you're liking what you're seeing here, again, like Donnie said, and I appreciate that, like Kevin will tell you, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. Make sure you're reaching out to the Above the Bar podcast. The only one that's got a different name is on Twitter, at Above the Bar podcast. If you're only watching the video, do us a favor and go onto your phone, go onto your app, whatever you would listen to a podcast on, and go ahead and subscribe. That's the only way anybody knows where the bar's at. That's how they all find the bar. That's how we all show up at the bar. Holy shit. Holy shit. Are you fucking serious, Scott? Holy shit, Scott. Is this real? Onlyfans.com/talkingbeards. If you are
if this
not
motherfucker isn't fucking naked with nothing but his beard doing poses,
Scott, is this
I'm
real?
Be fucking pissed.
Hold on a second. I wasn't going to do this. Gents, you got a couple of minutes? Do you have a couple of minutes?
Bring it.
Oh my God. I gotta do something. I gotta hold on. Talk for a minute, Donnie. I know you're good at that.
Dude,
shit.
I'm typing because I want to see this shit as well. Tell me you're pulling up his site.
No, I'm not pulling up his site. I've got to go on copied, like son of a bitch. I've got to send him a message right now. If
Hold
this
on.
shit is real,
Oh, it's fucking real. A weekly. So, all right, you cheese dick. So this motherfucker's he's got an OnlyFans page. He totally does, but there's no pictures on it and shit like you'd see. So it's fucking smart because he's promoting the shit out of his damn podcast with it. But dude, Scott, you'd make a mint. Just take off the fucking clothes, hide shit with that fucking 12-foot long fucking beard, and you'd make a mint, dude.
Scott, look at your Facebook. Look at your Facebook Messenger right now.
Did you screenshot that shit?
No, we will brush our beards for our pleasure, for your pleasure. Haven't activated it.
Every $5 is a stroke.
Look, like, what do you want me to do to my beard? Do you want to put it behind my ears? What do you want me to do? Let's see what he does. I was getting ready to close this shit out, but let's see what he does. See if he comes on or not.
Dude.
I just sent him the link. I had to send him the StreamYard.
Hey, you know,
that's
the funniest thing is I literally had somebody, because I have a full working farm with goats and chickens and everything else.
Mhm.
I had somebody ask me if I was going to launch an OnlyFans goat page. And I'm like, huh? They're like, no, really. We want to see the goats jumping around the farm and everything. I'm like, okay, are you and
That's
I
a
talking
thing?
about OnlyFans, like, you know, OnlyFans? And he's like, yeah, no, you'd make a lot of money by just showing pictures of your goats. I'm like, are they liking the goats, or are they liking the goats? I'm like, what are we getting into here? I'm a little confused by what
we're all.
So, I was gonna say something, but I can't because you'll get email.
Right.
Oh, that's a whole nother level. So I don't know if Scott's going to come on, but I will introduce all of us together to Scott. I love him to death. I've told you, him and I did a 2.5-hour show. It went from like 14 people listening to 2 people listening to 15 people listening to 1 person listening. It just kept going back and forth. Like, people like, what are you 2 assholes doing? We're just 2 buddies just having a conversation. And you know how many times I've met Scott? This is the God's honest truth. Here's networking for you. You know how many times Scott and I've met? You got it, Kevin. We've never met face to face.
So Donnie and I worked together for 1.5 years before I came down for our first summit, and we met for the first time.
Dude, Scott, what's up, brother? Oh, no mic though. You
no mic, Scott. I can't hear you.
Fix your fucking settings.
Now here's what's funny. Wait till you hear his voice, because he's got the most amazing radio voice.
Oh, hello, fellas. How are you doing tonight?
Brother,
that's not really the super great radio voice I have.
You're still really quiet, Scott.
Yeah, what's up? You sound really quiet. What's going on? Before my kid actually is about
Don't
to bring
worry,
me
they'll
Doritos.
both drop
Shut up,
someday.
Sean.
There it is.
There we go. My kid's bringing me Doritos.
I know. God, my kid's not bringing me Lone Stars right now. I crack these open.
Now you guys are both in Texas right now.
It's pronounced Teja.
Yeah, but dude, are you in Austin?
Yes, well,
That's not
south
Texas.
of Austin.
That's not Texas. Austin is not Texas. That's where all the weird long-haired hippie freaks live.
Look at that beard. Look at that beard.
I don't like the long-haired hippie freaks. I was just complaining to my girlfriend today about how I can't stand all the hipsters that live in Texas and all the bars that we go to that have all the cool people. I'm like, that's not my scene. Like, I'm just like a cool, like, behind the scenes kind of guy.
I gotta know. All right, dude. Like, how long is that fucking beard?
It's this long.
Dude, that's ridiculous. I literally feel like less of a man looking at your fucking beard. I couldn't.
Is it the
grow
beard?
that shit.
Is it really the beard though?
Yeah,
Donnie, it might be the shirt.
all the time.
It shouldn't be the beard though, because the beard has nothing to do with it. Like, I mean, I started growing this beard on March 1st of 2009. So we're already like doing math here, 28 years into the whole process. But it's
dude, you sure
a lot
you want a
of trimming.
Marine? Because that was like math for Marines right there.
Yeah, that was math for Marines.
Yeah, but I grew a long beard a long time ago and then cut it off, and then I started growing this one. And once I then that's when I discovered competitive bearding, and I just started trimming it. And it's literally been the same. If you looked at pictures of me from like 12 years ago, I look exactly the same. So it hasn't grown. I mean, I keep cutting it, but it hasn't grown.
That's insane. I mean, I literally have spots in my beard that have patches still. I'm 45 almost 45 years old, and I still get patches in my fucking beard.
Well, I'm 47. I'm only a couple years older than you. You're just
holy fuck. You're old.
Holy
wow! Eat a fat baby. Like, could we have to say this again?
Wow.
I'm 46. I'll be 47 this year.
I mean,
So
seriously,
guys,
were dinosaurs really that fucking big? I mean, you guys would know.
Oh God! Listen to her.
Listen to her.
So, and I'm going to throw this out. We got to plug Scott here for a minute. We got to. If you enjoy my show, you got to check out Talking Beards.
Yeah,
you're not
going to enjoy our show.
You got to enjoy Talking Beards. Talking Beards is an amazing show. I enjoy it every Tuesday. You get Scott, you get Aaron. Who's the one that's out here in by me there? Scott and Matt.
Matt, who does a show called Beard Laws, which you can beardlaws.com. You can go check his stuff out too. But yeah, he does a lot of cool like
Twitch.
No,
Twitter.
Come on, stop it. You're making me look on my phone.
So for once upon a time, I didn't do
listening.
social media. I literally didn't do hardly anything on social media until I launched my business. So I always called it, I'm like, those people that do twit face. And now
TikTok.
I'm like fucking
That's
all
big
about
on
TikTok.
Yeah.
Right
I still can't, we're all around the same age in our mid 40s. Facebook's
Wait. Hold on. Kevin, how
Whoa.
old are you?
I was like, here it comes. Smart ass comment from the youngster. I am 49.
He's fixing to turn 50.
Oh, we're still in our mid 40s. Shut your whole face, Donnie.
40s. Get the fuck
right
out of
there.
here.
There she goes again.
That dude's getting ready for a walk.
Just because Donnie wears pull-ups.
And
Hey,
Kevin can't
means
grow
I
a
can-
beard.
I can grow a beard. I just shaved it off on Friday.
They always just shave it off on Friday.
Right.
That's always the key thing. They
All right,
always
so
just shaved it off.
next time I'm on, Sean, it's going to be the week prior to drill, so that I have
Fair
the
enough.
beard.
When is National, Scott?
I'm not the guy to ask on that one, but
Oh God.
So literally, you do the beard competitions where they do all like the curly Q shit, fucking.
Oh yeah.
all right. So I go to those competitions. I don't participate in those categories. Like the category that I participate in is goatee. I mean, as you can
Believe
see,
that's a goatee. That's a goatee.
Yeah. Goatee is so I shave everything from here to here.
So like
it's not
nothing on the boys.
Yeah, it's not a complete beard.
I'm just saying.
So the
you said-
boys, I really like that show. I mean, it's a really good show.
Got it.
But
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
No, so I compete in a category that's a non-complete beard. So like I do not have a full beard because I decide I shave from here to here. And
That's what you call lazy shaving.
no, that's called stylistic shaving.
No, that's what you called. I'm a lazy motherfucker, so I'm only going to shave 2 inches of my face.
The lazy guys don't shave.
Well, that's me.
Yeah, but what do you have on your face right now? You have a goatee almost.
pubics.
I have fucking
Pubics.
as much of a beard as I can fucking grow.
Yeah, because you're lazy.
Yeah.
Right.
I can
100%.
grow way more, but I decided to shave this.
And keep this in mind, Donnie. What was the band that you were a part of there, Scott?
Godsmack. I bet you like Godsmack. He's a Godsmack kind of guy. I can tell
Oh yeah, he's totally Godsmack, Nickelback,
it.
You were in Godsmack?
Kevin Federline.
Whoa.
What was the band that you were a part of, Scott? That toured?
Me? Oh no, I was a tour manager. So
Right. I know you did that, but there was a band before that.
all I did was tour managing. I worked with a bunch of like basically like
ZZ
smaller
Top.
local bands in different scenes and stuff. I never went out with a band.
Now, Donnie and Kevin, before Scott just plays this off, now we talk about willingness to just go out and do things. And Scott will correct me if I tell this story wrong. Somebody came to Scott. Scott is a professional musician. He knows music. Don't start, asshat.
Yeah.
And somebody said to him, "Well, why don't you start promoting bands?" And I don't remember the city. He'll correct me. So he went out and just started promoting a band and would travel around and take like nobody bands and just try to get them gigs. You want to talk about networking and entrepreneurial or intrapreneurial? How about you just walk up to a club owner and go, "Hey, I got these band. They're really good. You should play them."
Sure they are.
Right.
Well, and part of like my story with that is, I was out scouting bands. Like I was literally for years and years, like watching hundreds, and I kid you not, hundreds of bands every weekend. Well, not every weekend, but throughout a period of time. But I was watching tons and tons of bands, and there would be certain ones that were like ones that stuck out. And I would approach them and be like, "Give me something to help promote you." And it would either give me a CD or a link to a website. And what I would do I would either be like, "Hey, you gave me a CD. Why don't you burn me off like 100 copies of it? I'm going to this city next weekend, the next city, I might be going to like, I'm just going to throw a path out to you. I'm going to Denver this weekend. The following weekend, I'm going to Oregon. Then the following weekend, I'm going to LA. And then the following weekend, I'm going to Dallas. Why don't you burn me off like 100 copies of your CDs? When I go to each of these locations, I'm going to put them on the table for you." Or if they didn't have CDs to give me a website or a QR code. But
And for anybody watching, CDs are these little discs that
Yeah.
silver and shiny.
and that's where I was just going to date myself, because I'm like, this is 10 years ago. So,
Right.
I mean, and this was just, and this was also like the beginning of QR codes. And I was like huge proponent of like make me a QR code. I'm going to make
Absolutely.
flyers up. I'll put flyers out at these events.
Donnie is
And-
a huge proponent of QR codes as
Fucking hate
well.
QR codes.
Yeah. I mean, they're
love
more
QR codes.
relevant now after COVID COVID.
Cupid. I don't even like that. That's a better
that's
name for the
Cupid's
disease.
sister. Cupid.
That's Cubert. Cubert is
Cubert.
You
Cubert.
don't know what
Shut up.
you don't know what
Shut
you're
up, all
getting
you bald-faced guys.
sister.
But yeah, no, the codes are awesome. I mean, restaurants are using them now all over the
Absolutely.
place, because you come into and they don't want to pass out these hard copy menus.
Resume.
They want to give you this or that. So years ago, when the QR codes were starting out, I was approaching bands with like, "Hey, if you don't want to give me a CD, let's link." It's so freaking easy to link a QR code to a website or a URL. Let's hook it up to something. And it just, everyone's just, I mean, 10 years ago, no one was just like,
Nobody can see your hand gestures. It's a podcast. Help me out.
just saying, like, there was like a lack of,
I remember my first time being a podcast guest.
Everyone is now in their car, like turning up
Fuck
their.
is-
What happened
fuck
to
is-
me?
the podcast just fucking ended. The podcast just ended. What the hell happened?
all
here?
right.
But you know what? You talk about QR codes, Scott. I don't carry a business card anymore. I go to a website and they don't sponsor me. I wish they would. Hi, hello. And I don't carry a hard copy business card. I carry a QR code on my phone that I have one for my work and one for my podcast. And I share it with people and they can scan it right on their phone. Now that the technology is caught up with, you don't need a special QR reader. And I absolutely agree with you. that QR piece, being able to hand that to somebody, my information goes instantaneously. And Kevin being a technology guy, my information goes directly onto your phone. And I know whether or not my information was important to you, because the minute you save my information, it sends me your information and says, hey, Scott Scora with Talking Beards,
It's me.
that's you, saved your information. Donnie Boivin. Let me say, Boivin.
I'm gonna do a Gary Vaynerchuk episode when he's like Vaynerchuk. I'm gonna do a whole episode on how to fucking say my last name.
You did a TikTok on it.
I did. And
Boivin, not bovine, not Donald.
yeah.
Donald.
I want to
Oh, that's
interject
even
here.
better. Donald Boivin. I like
Let
that
me-
even better.
Sean, let me interject here real quick. So there is a new technology, and I feel really stupid for not remembering it off the top of my head, but there is a new technology where you can actually order basically a plastic credit card that has a chip inside of it that has a programmable link in it. So you can put that in your wallet. And when you go to an event and everyone asks, oh, what do you do a podcast? It's like, yeah, here. They take their phone, you put your wallet up to it, and it automatically will go to whatever podcast app that they use and give them the ability to subscribe to it. Or that.
That's mine.
So
that QR code right now, right there, for those of you that are watching live. If you clicked on that
if
QR,
you're
that's me.
podcasting and not using Captivate.fm, and I'll say this as boldly as I can, you're a rookie podcaster.
Whoa.
You like
I've been
Captivate.
Captivate.fm is literally a podcast host created by podcasters for I mean, it is fucking insane. So
your mouth.
what some of the things that they do from a podcasting standpoint that just sets them apart from everybody else. So Scott, how many episodes on your podcast do you have?
Yes.
250 some.
250. Sean, how many episodes do you have?
This is 104.
Okay, 104. Okay, cool. Wouldn't it be cool? And I have no affiliation with Captivate, by the way, but wouldn't it be cool that if you had an event or a workshop or something coming up, that you could hit a button and that advertisement or that thing you wanted to promote would instantly go through every episode you have?
Yeah,
That's I'd love that.
Fucking Captivate's got dynamic ad insertion. Literally, you hit a button and your 30-second, your pre-recorded goes through every episode you've ever recorded. Go ahead, Scott.
What kind of events are you promoting, though?
So the Badass Business Summit we're promoting workshops we're doing.
Success Champions
networking. Yep, is going right now. We're going to do a book launches. We'll do that. And literally every episode, even from Success Champions to Growth Mode, I hit one button and it promotes through all of them. And it's
I definitely want to hook up with you on the outside of where we're at right now to totally hear about all this. Like to me, this sounds great because I've been podcasting for about 6-7 years and following. Every day I like.
That's my wife.
Oh,
she's been
Donnie is a cutie. Look at me go. I fucking love April.
Wife.
Your wife is drunk.
Is that because she doesn't like me and she likes him because of his beard?
This is different than beard.
It's the dimples.
Oh,
dude.
Come on.
But anyways, so
April,
I
you're
listen
my
to a
hero.
lot of podcasts about like the whole industry wide of everything going on. So I know a lot about like all the different podcast hosting companies and all the different offerings that they have, but definitely that sounds like a super awesome feature that a lot of podcasters might want to take advantage of. And so give me the website. So
Captivate.fm.
Captivate.fm. And Mark Askowitz
.fm.
.fm. He's
All right.
Mark Askowitz is CEO out of
Yes.
he's out of the UK. fucking good dude. I mean, and Twitter has been probably my coolest place to reach out to people and connect. I literally reached out to Mark because I switched over to Captivate without knowing Mark, and I'm like, I want to check this out. I want to, see what they're doing. And I fell in love with their hosting platform because every month, I swear to Christ, they're rolling out new technology on their platform that you're like, fuck, why haven't I had this the whole entire time?
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Dynamic show notes.
Well, this is my only thing with host platforms. So I host off of Podbean.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
I feel
see,
the
I
same
like
way
Podbean.
too.
See, I like Podbean.
If it works for you, it works for you.
But here's my question, and this would be my only thing with Captivate is how are they with putting your RSS on other platforms?
Okay, so any podcast host that touts will get you on all the platforms is a fucking idiot because all podcast hosts get you on all the platforms except for Anchor.
Well, Anchor's bullshit.
So
Anchor's bullshit, and people who are on Anchor, please fix yourself.
Yeah. So I host through Libsyn, and I pay $30 a month.
Okay,
and
so we're gonna save you $11 a month because Captivate is $19 a month, and is everything Libsyn wish it should be. So I started with Libsyn, then went to Simplecast, and then went with Captivate.
So I choose Libsyn because of the amount of data that I upload every month. And I mean, so if Captivate, you can literally create a podcast fucking studio and could have 40 fucking shows underneath your brand and still cost you $19 a fucking month. I love this. Like, I like getting this information and hearing it and learning. That's why I'm here.
So now, since Mark and I have had a relationship and we become friends, he sponsors the Badass Business. Dude, if you need a discount on $19 a fucking month, dude, I'll send you some fucking food stamps.
Mark, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Let's do that.
So,
you know how many kids I have? I have 8 kids,
dude,
and 4 grandbabies.
Well, how we know
I can't even pull out of the driveway.
Shut up, Sean.
But
pulling out has just generally probably been your problem,
right? So, but no, literally, Mark and I have become friends, and him and his team. So Mark started in podcasting with like a Star Wars podcast, right? It's like just a geek and podcasting space, and did not like how a lot of the hosts were doing their shit. And so he's like, fuck it, we're going to create a host. And they continue to fucking innovate for podcasters. And so, okay, how do you guys promote your shows? Do you have like a link that you send people to that sends them to all the other platforms? How do you do that?
Go ahead, Scott. I'll tell you in a minute.
So basically, like I said, I use Libsyn. So I post it through Libsyn. It goes out through Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I can post it. It'll automatically post through those. But
okay, so I tell you right now, Scott, all those automatic postings are killing your algorithm because all the platforms hate any automation that comes into them.
And this I've heard this, that any automation that is given to you by a platform, it shoots down your SEO.
So one thing that's cool about Captivate is they give you one link, like a Bitly style link, right? Y'all know what Bitly is?
No, I don't know what's
so Bitly is like a link you can give that's a short URL.
Yep. It makes like a huge URL like tiny,
okay,
and nice and easy to like share with people.
The cool thing about this link is when you click on it, whoever clicks on it, it pulls up their podcast player. So if they're an Apple listener, it pulls up Apple. If they're a Google listener, it pulls up Google. If they're a fucking Spotify listener, it pulls up Spotify. And so when you put this link out there, it pulls up their platform player automatically and allows them to freaking listen to your show on their fucking platform. I'm telling you, these guys, are so innovative, and for $19 a month, which it still blows me away that they do
Can I get a
all of this.
discount?
So I pay. Well, my Libsyn account is $20 a month. I pay 19.
Does Libsyn still have the old green screen shit? Like their whole back end?
They're going between a switch up right now between Libsyn 4 and Libsyn 5. So
Because they're losing market share.
well, I mean, either that or they're just buying up too much properties right now with all their subsidiaries with things that are not podcasting related. But I don't know. I mean, it works for me, but like I said, anything I'm going to throw this out there. Anything that works for anyone. I mean, if it works, use it. If it doesn't, I mean, I'm totally done.
I'm gonna treat this like high school. Scott, the fucking cool kids are playing with Captivate. God damn it!
Hold on.
Play.
I swear to God, like now that I've talked to you tonight, I'm like really seriously reconsidering like switching over to that.
The only thing that you're gonna lose from moving from Libsyn
Kevin,
to
you and I
Captivate
have a whole
is my mom.
conversation.
Yeah, you might lose your mom, but the only thing anybody loses from moving platforms is you will lose the downloads from your past episodes. So they'll stay with Libsyn, right?
All right.
Okay. So it's like when you move to Captivate, it's like you start from ground zero.
Yeah, no, I get.
So what I literally have a $5 subscription to Libsyn, a $5 subscription to Simplecast, so I can keep those back episodes. So when anybody challenges me on how successful Success Champions is, I'm like, here's the data, right?
That's all stupid shit,
right? So I've got it, nominal dollars, and I just moved everything over to Captivate. Other than I bust Mark's chops all the time, I'm like, why is all your shit pink? Because their whole fucking platform is pink as hell. But
all right, so Donnie, you and I are obviously like having our own little thing going on right here down at the bottom of the screen. So
hold on for a second.
We just need to carry this over into our own little thing and let Sean continue on with what he's doing.
But I'm just curious of something though. So as this all goes along here, we have right now, I'm the littlest fish in this pond.
I doubt that.
But at the same time, I'm the biggest shark.
Big fish.
I'm the littlest fish in this pond, but the biggest shark. You have right now 3 podcasts, 3 networks that easily cross platforms with a lot of different things. Whether it be, I'm going to tell you right now, Donnie and Kevin, the Talking Beard guys are the best social public awareness, human interest, as far as like people with things that are going on in their lives and supporting local organizations, guys that I know. You guys, Donnie and Kevin, are the best networking, no bullshit, creating an environment where if you're looking to do business, like business, dollars and donuts kind of business, you're not going to find a better bunch of people that are no bullshit and are going to provide that for you. And then here at the bar, everybody's welcome, but oh God, what the hell did I just get? Fucking, what is this bullshit? Here's one for you there, gents. What is that?
Whoa.
Bullshit? I don't know what that was. I just got fucking,
bombed.
I just got bombed by, Korea is trying to take over here, folks. Block that user. But what I'm trying to tell you here is we've got 3 people or 4 people that could build a network from different environments. And I love Doritos.
That wasn't even a Dorito.
Son of a
Cool
bitch.
Ranch.
Oh, that's not a Dorito.
Yeah, those aren't real.
I agree.
So
those suck.
I love Cool
Gross.
Ranch. So here's the biggest thing is,
gross.
what are our feelings? And I'm curious of this question. Coming from different platforms, how do you attach different platforms that have their own anchors? So you're Donnie, you were talking about that one. I know Talking Beers. I know all these different networks that are out. out there, success champions. How do you attach those without feeling like you're doing one dirty? Does that make sense? Does that make sense,
Maybe.
Kevin?
I think we
Maybe.
should have Kevin talk right now because he's been
He's
very,
been very
quiet.
quiet.
For a
And
while.
Kevin's the smartest of all of us. I promise you.
I'm going to toss Kevin a freaking softball really, really quick. Marketing is what you say you do. Branding is what everybody else says when you're not in the fucking room. There you go.
It's true. So I guess I kind of want to figure out what, exactly what Sean's asking. When when you're talking about attaching, what are you actually, what's going through your head?
So in my mind, I really want everybody. So if I could personally get the Talking Beers Network and get the Success Champions or the Growth Mode Network to come over here to the Above the Bar Network, my show explodes. But at the same time, I want my people to attach to you guys. Where do you stop being selfish and realize that there's a value in connecting with other networks?
Well, I think the key is you understand that your network is not mutually exclusive to other people's. It's that whole idea that there's going to be that crossover. Everyone in the Beard Network is not going to be entrepreneurial and business oriented, but some of them are. Not all of them are going to be interested in how Above the Bar works and what type of content you have, but some will. And the same goes with what we do with Growth Mode. All of our networks, some of them are going to be totally into the beard thing, and some of them will be totally into the bar thing. And then some will be like, nah, we're just good with Donnie and Kevin. But that's the whole purpose of networking, is figuring out how your networks complement each other and how you're able to actually collaborate so that each person's network gets stronger. And the people who are the most successful at networking are the ones that are going into these conversations and these engagements with people trying to figure out, hey, how do we help each other? How do I help you be more successful? How do I help you grow? How do I help your business sell more stuff? It's the ones that end up saying, networking doesn't work and networking's dumb and it doesn't, it's a sham, it's a cult, blah, 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 are the people that are just going in because, well, all right, so what can I get out of this? What are the benefits for me to do all these things? And whereas, with us, we're looking at how do we help. When Donnie does a meeting with someone, he's spending the whole time trying to figure out who can I introduce these people to? Who do I know in my network that can help them or that they can help? And it's going to be a great conversation. And that's what allows, us, Sean, you and me and Donnie to have jumped on this show, and then to bring Scott in to have these conversations, because all of us are truly interested in just figuring out how we can do things together.
Go ahead, Scott.
All right. So as I'm listening to Kevin talk, I think about how when I get invited into this show tonight and we have 3 other guys talking about promoting and supporting and stuff like that, and you bring me in, and I got to think quick on my feet of how do I, as a podcaster, fit in with the group of you guys? And my first thing is I look at you guys. I'm like, all right, what do I have in common with you? All right, Sean, we have goatees together. Kevin, you don't have anything. And Donnie, we have a goatee. So I automatically go to facial hair. So that is where my game plan starts. And then when I come into a conversation like this, I play. I have fun with whoever I'm talking to. I play with their emotions with facial hair. But then it also dives into a whole thing of all right, so once again, as Sean brings me in here to talk about it, we're talking about promoting other people's things, other different podcasts, or other different such and suches. And when you come getting involved into stuff like that, and you just need to listen to the other people you're talking to and pay attention to what direction they're going, and then you kind of feed off of that. Like, so now it's like I'm sitting here listening to everyone talk. Oh my God. I feel like I really got a flat tire on this one.
I about to say, you've been drinking? I mean,
No,
I'm almost
not
done.
enough.
I'm always
But
done this bottle of George Dickel.
but no, yeah.
Long
it's
story
just-
short is, I think I know what you're saying.
yeah.
You know, networking is finding your group, attaching other groups, bringing
It's
other groups
listening.
in, and listening to what either other people are saying and saying, hey, we can all, oh, you said happy, I said glad. We're really actually saying the same damn shit. Let's move on together.
Yeah, I mean, you can manipulate any conversation you want into the direction you want it to go if you're just smart about paying attention to like where. I mean, we have 4 different guests here. I need to be listening to every single one of you and like paying attention to like what each of your talking points are, and then kind of guiding, like if I'm trying to lead a conversation. All right, so Donnie and Kevin were talking about this, so I need to keep that in mind where I'm leading a conversation. So you want to keep it like interesting to all the people that are listening, because it's not. All right. So we are all here for Sean's show right now. This is. I mean, ultimately, this is Sean's show. He invited all of us on here for a specific reason. So we're here to entice and lead a conversation that Sean wants us to work with. So you just need to pay attention to the other guests, and you need to lead a conversation. Like, I mean, we've all been talking about different things this whole night, but as it leads in, you have to just be fruitful and like cognizant of what everyone's talking about.
And that's why I love you, Scott.
Oh, shut up.
You and I
felt like it babbled.
Hey, Scott, what I tell you every Tuesday? What is the first thing I say to you? No, what is the first thing I send to you every Tuesday?
I wish you grow a beard.
No.
No.
Hello, sunshine. I send it every Tuesday. Hello, sunshine. Because Scott is one of those kind of guys that he sees the value in it. He sees what we're doing. And folks, look, I know if you've stuck with us for this entire time, we're at 2 hours.
Damn.
We're over 2 hours. And this is a Scott thing. I blame this completely on him.
It always happens when you and I get together.
We do, because we can just talk. Wait till we start talking about like podcasting gear. That shit gets real fucking ridiculous. So, folks, we're going to get ready to put a bow on this thing. For my 3 guests, please do not log off. I need to talk to each of you. Donnie, did you get a t-shirt last time?
You know what? I feel like yes.
I feel like you did too. But I've never seen it. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Sorry. Fuck me.
I wear shirts for people I like.
Yeah, that explains everything.
So it sounds like you need a talking beard.
And I know
shirt.
Scott's got a t-shirt. He got a baseball t-shirt.
But
Are you wearing
his beard covers it up.
No, he's got a baseball t-shirt.
What am I wearing under this one?
Oh, I don't know. What is that one?
It's probably going to be. I'm gonna tell you. It's probably going to be an Honest Amish shirt.
Well, so that's
look at that.
Is that Honest Amish?
It is an Honest Amish shirt.
That's a very Pennsylvania shirt.
Oh my God! Because Aaron gives me all these darn shirts.
Well, here's the thing about Honest Amish. You want to really know if you're from PA is when you go into a bar and you say, "Hey, let me get a lager." If you go into PA and you go, "Let me get a lager," and they hand you a Yingling, then you know really in PA. That's the only place that.
Yep.
There's no other thing in PA. If you say, "I want a lager," you're getting
Yingling is no longer like a thing because you can now get it in Texas. They went west of the Mississippi.
Whoa, watch it, buddy.
But it's still a key thing is in PA. If you say, "Let me get a lager," there's only one lager.
I will tell you, for years, and I mean, up until like a few years ago, like we couldn't even get Yingling in Ohio. Like, and we were like neighbors to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't get it in Minnesota yet either.
And it's all about going in the bar and going, let me get a lager. If you say, let me get a lager in PA, they should hand you a Yingling. If they don't hand you anything other than that, then it's bullshit. But we're going to get ready to put a bow on this, folks. We're at 2 hours and 9 minutes. Son of a bitch. This is what we do. And for those of you that have stuck with us this entire time, which I imagine is my wife and one of the three guests tonight's wives, because that's the motherfuckers that are willing to listen to us. We're going to put a bow on this. Talking Beard Network. Every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. You can get Scott on there.
Can you do one thing before we get out of here?
What's that, bro?
Really, really simple.
Please.
Can you pull up the comment of your wife saying I'm cute again?
No, probably not. I'll be damned. I'll be
Are
damned.
you sure she wasn't talking about
I'll
me?
be damned. And yep, my wife said Donnie looked cute because he kind of looks like him and I could be related.
Like I'm the good-looking older brother. I mean, I'm
younger
not sure.
brother. Younger definitely, because he can't get the skunk. I said that story, Scott, where you told me like the fact that I can get the skunk was pretty impressive.
It's all right. You got to get that out. Aaron and I were talking about that today about how getting the stripes in the beard is like, that's what you're looking for.
It's pretty impressive.
That'll be like, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to get these like nice gray stripes in here. And I'm like, that's where you're going to gain the points when you're competing.
See that? I mean, it's a whole nother thing. So make sure, folks, you're checking out the Talking Beards Network. They've got shows every day of the week. Even if you're a lady that you're listening to this show, they've got shows where they actually like stitch and make
Monday
beards.
nights.
What's that one called?
Monday nights, we have a Whiskerina show. So
Whiskerina.
basically, yeah. So if the women are interested in the beard scene, we do a craft show every Monday night. Every 2 weeks, we do a craft build off where we send packages to people who may be interested in building a craft beard. So if you guys are like, hey, like I'm like all about building a craft beard on my face, we'll send you a packet. You can be a guest on the show. Just hit us up at the Craft Whisker Beard Club, or you can email us at talkingbeards1@gmail.com. But yeah, check us over at talkingbeards.com. I mean, that's all I'm going to promote for that.
And if you're looking to grow your network, you feel like, hey, I need to grow my network. I need to figure out who can help me be better in business. Growth Mode Podcast, Success Champions Network, successchampions.com, Donnie?
Yep.
Kevin? Successchampions.com.
No, Success Champions Networking.com.
Networking.com. Facebook, Instagram, you can find Donnie and you can find Kevin at their names. Kevin Snow, Donnie Boivin. Fucking whack job.
We fucking taught you.
Fucking another Marine. Jackass.
I'm not a Marine here. I'm the only one that's
Yeah, you're the only one.
fun
Just
part.
stay back. This shit could get dangerous. Somebody's going to get burned. Make sure you reach out to them. And as always, the Above the Bar podcast, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and then our Twitter is at Above the Bar Podcast 4.com. We're going to get ready to close this thing up there, gentlemen. As always, the guests get the last word. We'll start with Scott because you were the last man in. Scott, what's your last word?
Well, I want to thank everyone for letting me join in on this one. I know it's running long, but thank you, Kevin and Donnie, for letting me join in on this adventure with you guys. I've been a huge proponent of promoting your podcast or your live stream or whatever you're doing and trying to find the best way to do it. So, not that I go out and about trying to help people do it, but my show's at talkingbeards.com, and we've been somewhat successful with what we've been doing, and we, I guess, have the niche on our community, and that's all I can ask for. So talkingbeards.com.
Donnie?
The biggest thing for me is if you are anywhere in your life and are thinking that I should start a business or I'm looking for something better, get in the game. Go break shit. Fuck some things up and get in the game, because I was 40 years old before I finally decided that, I wasn't going to live other people's dreams. I was going to create my own. And man, the sooner you get in the game, the better. Go break shit quickly and fuck up a lot. Seriously, fuck up a lot.
It's
Kevin?
really good.
Kevin?
My final thought is go out and sell. If you make that decision to get in the game and start your business, go sell stuff. Don't fall prey to that myth that's out there that being a business owner is the most amazing thing in the world and you're going to get rich really quick and it's going to be awesome. Go sell. Do the work early, and it's going to save you a ton of time and a ton of heartache and a ton of stress down the road if you go out and do it right away and start building those processes that then are going to help you scale down the road.
Alrighty, folks. Be sure to push your stool in.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.